Alright, for the Occiput, we're going to talk about, just like the other listings that we've done, we're going to have a particular structure that we're going to refer to. So when we look at these letters, you simply say, okay, where is my landmark for the Occiput? That's what the letters are telling me. That landmark is here in this position. So we're going to use the condyle, the very bottom tip of the condyle, as our reference point for the occipital listings. Imagine a dot of ink drawn on the most inferior aspect of that condyle for your reference point. You could just think of the tip of the mastoid. It kind of moves the same way the condyle does. So either way you want to think about it. But strictly speaking, we're talking about where is that condyle, the occiput. And we're going to be more concerned about the high side than in the other parts. So we're going to call the left or the right side based on which one's the superior side. So the portions of the listing, we've got dashes that we're going to put between each of the segments. So we're going to go theta x is the first part, then we'll put a dash, then we'll do theta z, and then we'll put a dash, and then we'll do theta y. I'll show you in some examples. So the very first part, and this is the kind of the key portion of the listing, is like the head moving in a up and down yes type motion. So this is the first part of the listing. So we can have, when say the chin goes down, the bottom of the condyle is going to slide posteriorly. Okay? Now we're going to learn how to draw these lines a little bit later, but this is a line representing Atlas right here. It's called the A to P Atlas plane line. This line right here is the foramen magnum line, and it represents the base of the skull. They ideally should be pretty close to parallel. In this case, the bottom of the condyle has rolled around the x-axis, so this is a theta x deal, and it's gone posterior, and as it did so, since this is a cup-shaped joint down here on the Atlas, it's like a BB in a bowl. Whenever it moves, it's going to go superior. Okay, so we'll have posterior, superior. That's where we get this chin down type attitude. AS, same thing, other way. So we've got a situation, still theta x. So now the bottom of the condyle has come up and forward, so our occipital line, our foramen magnum line, is now showing open in the front. So that's now an anterior, superior, bottom of the condyle, right there. Next, now that was our first set of letters, that's the theta x. Now we're going to have a theta z. So this is like moving your head, your left and right ears up and down. So I don't know, that type of movement. So we have a rs. So the right condyle is superior. Now when we look at films, looking at A to P, P to A type films, we're always going to set them up as if we're behind the patient. So that means the right side is the right as we look at the x-ray, and the left side is the left. So in this case, you can see his right mastoid is going to be high. There's a bigger gap over here. That guy's a little swollen because it's irritated, because it's subluxated. But as the occiput moves to the right, it's also going to roll up that hillside, and you'll have a right superior. Okay, so this is theta z. In this case, it's a negative theta z. And it's sitting with the right side high. That's the side we're going to contact. LS, same thing, other side. So here the left side is high. There's our irritated capsule. We've got the open wedge over here between the transverse condyle line and the transverse atlas plane line, which again, we'll learn how to draw those guys later. So the left condyle is now superior, because as it went to the side, it rolled up that little hillside right there. So now this is a positive theta z. So theta x, theta z, and then we're going to have a dash after that. That's the direction it moved. And this will be more like the no movement of the head, which means theta y, right? So our occiput can be sitting a little bit rotated, have a little bit of a rotation restriction. It doesn't have a lot of rotation, but you can still have a restriction in that axis, right? So we can have the right side's posterior or the left side posterior. This is going to depend on which side is lateral. So if we look at this picture, this guy's left side's posterior and his right side's anterior. Over here, the left side's anterior, right side's posterior. Which one do we call? Depends on which side is lateral. So if I have a left lateral occiput, then this is a left lateral and left posterior. Okay, if I have a left lateral and on this picture, the left side is anterior, isn't it? In this case, there's no rotational component, no third set of letters. So here we have RP on this one, and there's an LP. So this now is theta y plus or minus theta y Next, could have right anterior, left anterior. So if I have a right superior condyle, that right condyle here is anterior, isn't it? If I had a left condyle, it would be a left posterior. Same thing, other side here. Left side is anterior, so if I'm calling an LS occiput, it's also going to be an LA. If I had an RS occiput, this one would be an RP, wouldn't it? Okay. So here's some examples. PS, RS. The bottom of the condyle is posterior. It rolled up that hill, so it's also superior, posterior, superior. And the right side is superior, so it rolled up the hill on the right. We're interested in the right side because that's where we're going to contact. So there's your PS on posterior, superior. Okay, chin down. And then here we have the right side is superior. Remember, right is right, left is left. Here's an AS, LS, LA. Occiputs rocked anterior, superior. So chin's up. Bottom of the condyle went anterior, superior. In this case, we have our left side is high, so the left side is superior. And then we're interested in the left side, and it is anterior. So there's an AS, LS, LA, and those are our dashes that just help to separate each of those components. Okay? Y'all have fun.